For the last 6 weeks, we've been trialling out the ZOLEO Global Communicator, and we've been using it in every situation, nearly every day. I've tried to test it out, make sure I'm sending messages with it, making sure we're receiving messages and everything else. And to be honest, it's performed absolutely faultlessly. This has been a brilliant product, and I think it has actually fast become my favourite gadget. Probably the way we've used the ZOLEO the most is literally every single day. Whenever we've arrived at a new destination, I've just turned the device on using a little switch here, waited 10, maybe 15 seconds for the ZOLEO to connect to the Iridium network, and then just pushed the check-in button at the top here and just left the ZOLEO sitting on the dashboard of the car to do its thing. That's what we've done the most, and it's probably the most convenient and the quickest way to use the ZOLEO, and it's worked every single time. Reliability, we've always had a connection. I've tried the ZOLEO in various different environments where we've had cloud cover, we've had trees and canopies, we've been in a valley surrounded by mountain, and I've never once found a situation where the ZOLEO won't connect to the Iridium network. It's worked every single time. And because of that, we've never had a message that we've sent out fail to get to its recipient. We've never not got a message sent to us. Everything has worked perfectly, no problems whatsoever. Even downloading the weather, it's worked every time I've tried it. So there's no trouble whatsoever. The ZOLEO is extremely reliable. Sort of added to that reliability is the durability of the device. I remarked when I first looked at the ZOLEO that I thought it was an extremely well-made product. Nothing in the last 6 weeks that we've used it has changed that opinion. In fact, I've dropped the unit, I've left it out in the bottom of the car in the rain, it's been sitting on the dashboard in the sun. I've short of throwing this into a bucket of water, I've done just about everything to it, and it still looks as good as the day I took it out of the box. It hasn't skipped a beat. So durability of the device is excellent. Same goes for all the accessories, particularly the windscreen mount that's made by RAM. At the time I first saw this, I thought this was a really good product. Again, nothing I've seen in the last 6 weeks would change that opinion. The ZOLEO's battery life is fantastic. I've got it set up to send regular updates to the network every 12 minutes, and I've easily got 2 days of battery life out of this, and I don't think I've gone through half the battery life. It's been, there's no trouble whatsoever. The battery on this is excellent. The other thing that I really enjoyed really like about the ZOLEO is the value for money. You buy the device for about the same price as a plain old EPIRB, and when you consider that this does so much more than an EPIRB, the purchase price of this alone is terrific. Then you've got also the service charges. Now, I've compared the service charges to other similar devices, and when you combine the Australian phone number that you get with the ZOLEO and the email address and the ability to suspend the account when you're not using the ZOLEO, the service charges, I think, are the best there are on the market. I don't think you can compare it to anything else. It really does come in extremely good value for money. Obviously, we didn't get an opportunity, probably thank goodness, to use the SOS function. But again, doing a bit of research and talking to people, what I have discovered is that if you push the button on the ZOLEO for any emergency, the emergency coordination company that will respond can actually communicate with you using the ZOLEO text app. So you can send them more information about what the nature of your emergency is, where you're located. They can give you advice about the situation you're in, maybe give you some first aid help, whatever. All manner of different possibilities open up just with the ability to communicate via text with the emergency services. Now, of course, nothing beats being able to dial 000 on a satellite phone, but satellite phones are very expensive, the network charges are very expensive, and some of them, you've got to be out in the middle of the open to be able to get connection to the satellite. The ZOLEO will work in just about any location really, and you know, text messaging is almost as good as voice messaging. So I think for the use in an emergency, the ZOLEO really does stack up very well. My parents were the test subject for this to a certain degree, and I was talking to them about how they sort of felt the device worked, and you know how it interacted with them, if you catch my drift. And they said to me, they said, look, we know you guys go out into remote areas, and we know that you travel where there's no mobile phone reception, and we also know that you're safe and that you're well prepared and that you don't do anything silly. But just the fact that they know that they can contact us anytime, we can contact them anytime, and we can also get emergency help at any time, just means that they've got a hell of a lot less to worry about. And you know, that's when you've got people at home who care about you, that's just a great feeling to know that they're just not as worried about you as they otherwise might be. The simplicity of the device is something else that I think is really important. Again, other devices look very, very complicated. ZOLEO is so easy. I mean, you literally turn it on using this button here, and then 9 times out of 10, all you want to do is send a check-in message. And you just do that by pressing the check-in button up the top here, and that's it. The ZOLEO takes care of the rest. But if you want to do your text messaging and message people and everything else, then the ZOLEO app is brilliant. Frankly, I can't see any reason why anybody would have any trouble with this app at all. It's been fantastic. It's easy to use. It's just like using any text-based app such as, say, SMS or Messenger for that matter. Anything like that, it works perfectly. I've had no trouble accessing my internal contacts with it. All my contacts come up. It's, you know, in the phone. It's just been fantastic. So as far as ease of use goes, I think this has got to be the simplest device for this sort of communication there is. The weather that comes on the app is also very good. We've checked it, and I've compared it with other weather apps, and I've found that the accuracy of the weather is very close. It's within 1 or 2 degrees for temperature forecasts, and within an hour with regards to rain forecasts and everything else. So I've compared it with Weather Zone, I've compared it with Bureau of Meteorology, and I've had no trouble whatsoever getting getting weather from the ZOLEO app. It's been brilliant. 10 out of 10 for ZOLEO. I think if you do any sort of travel, whether it be hiking in the high country, whether it be travelling the desert tracks, even just caravanning around Australia, you know, on your holidays or whatever, or if you live full time on the road, anywhere where you think you're going to be out of the mobile phone network and you may need to contact somebody, or you want to be able to talk to people or whatever, then you've got to have one of these. It's brilliant.